Hello, my dear chess friends. Today I want to show you a game played by the 7th world champion, Vasily Smyslov. And Vasily Smyslov, I think, is in many ways an underrated player and world champion. He was in many ways a fascinating character. He became world champion by defeating Botvinnik, and in fact they played 3 world championship matches, and despite Botvinnik winning 2 of them, Smyslov actually had a plus score in those matches. He scored 18 wins against 17 with about 30 plus draws. And Smyslov, he had this reputation. He was referred to as the hand, because the moves just came to him. He played so naturally, and it seemed like his games just flowed. So I think he's a really underrated player, and one you should really study. He was also fascinating because he was a singer, and he was active very late in his career as well. He became world champion in the 50s, but he qualified for a candidate match against Kasparov as late as, I think, 1983. So he had longevity in his career. And the game I want to show you was actually played in 2001, when Smyslov was 80 years of age. So well into his senior years. And mind you that at this time Smyslov already had very poor eyesight, so he played very rarely. But at the time there was, I think, annual, maybe biannual match which was held between seniors of the game, in this case Smyslov and many others, and the top female players in the world. And this game I want to show you is from that match. Smyslov had the white pieces, and with the black pieces Chen, who is a former women's world champion. Notably, Vasily Smyslov is the only player to win the FIDE World Championship and the Senior World Championship. The only player in history to do that. So, I like this game a lot because there's a very cunning trap that Smyslov sprung on Chen, and we'll come to that. So Smyslov opened with e4, Sicilian defense, and now c3, which is the Alapin Sicilian, which has a quiet reputation but is not without venom. There are plenty of dangerous lines. d5, cd, queen takes d5, knight f3, and Chen goes for g6, which is one of the sharper lines for black. We see knight a3 from Smyslov. Slightly, yeah. This is a usual development of the knight in this line because of the active possibilities to develop it to b5 or c4 on the next move. We see bishop b7, queen b3, offering the queen trade. Now bishop b6 was played. This threatened to take now and win a pawn, but there is bishop to c4, and the trap has been sprung. Queen e4, and now king d1. And now black all of a sudden is in a world of hurt. So you can't really let this stay, because if you do nothing, I will take on e6, and you will have a horrible structure. So let's see, knight f6, I take, and your position is just horrible. And I have rook e1, in some cases knight g5. Horrible. Even though the king is stuck on d1, the structure is more of an issue for black. So something must be done. So bishop takes c4 is a natural move, but now knight takes c4, and now black must do something. Can we develop? The answer is no, because if you play a natural move like knight f6, intending castles, I have a tactical shot. What can white play here? Boom shakalaka! 96. Of course, Jack, and we have Forkalicious, Forcaroni. This must be taken, and our rookie won. We win the queen, and this becomes a problem as well. So let's also see what happens after a natural move like queen to c6. Still we see rook e1. And now again white has a very subtle plan here. If we play again a natural move like knight d7, there's a fantastic shot for white here. This didn't happen in the game, but white to move here. Are you ready? Queen takes b7. Take that, put that on your pipe, and smoke it. Another fork, and this wins the pawn. Beautiful stuff. So can we play b6 instead of knight d7? Not allowing queen takes b7. Then knight to e5. And you're in trouble because I have this annoying threat here. If you play queen e6, you have a horrible structure. And if you protect here, I play queen d5 and your rook is toast. So, bunch of problems. And actually, Chen, she played queen d5, pinning the knight. But this is exactly what Smyslov was hoping for. And here, well, the trap has already been sprung. So watch the finishing touch here. White to move. A fantastic, one of the nicest moves I've seen. At the age of 80 with almost no eyesight. Mind you, Smyslov was active in composing studies at this time. So it's not like he was had a dead brain, and he showed it here. He had some ideas. And what was his brilliant idea here? He played knight b6. Pew! Now, attack on the queen. Actually, a double attack. If you move the queen, I simply take your rook. Thank you. So what to do? Well, how about queen takes b3? Well, then all of a sudden your opponent's pinned and you lose all your material. Brilliant stuff. So Chen actually had to play queen c6 and lose the exchange. Now this is brilliant stuff. White wins the exchange. And perhaps he should have brought his king already to the king side. But I played king c2, which looks natural. But I have to sadden you with a sad ending to the story. Smyslov was already 80 years old and he didn't manage to win this game. Let's see what happened. Bishop d6. Chen covers e7. More attack on e7, but knight f6. Cuts the queen off. And then castles. So white is still better, but black is getting organized here. And around here, queen h3. And here probably Smyslov should have played king e2 to f1. Still holding on to some material advantage, and he should be better. But he blundered slightly here with knight e5, which allowed knight e4. White can't take it, of course, because of the pin. Queen takes, and the rook is pinning the pawn. So king e2. And now before taking on e5, Chen took on c3. Now she took on e5. We saw rook c1 covering the pawn. And after c4, Smyslov played d4 and offered the draw. He is still up some slight material, but black has full compensation, and actually if black wants, black can force a draw immediately with queen e4 check. This attacks the rook. And if king d1, rook takes d4, c takes d4. And white has nothing better than king e2, when black will simply repeat here. So a sad ending to this otherwise funky little game. Nonetheless, this is one of my favorite moves, and it just shows how strong Smyslov was, that he was able to uncork this idea at the age of 80 with almost no eyesight. But I think I will cover some games from the earlier career of Smyslov so that you can enjoy his full strength. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little nugget, and yeah, definitely one of my favorites. See you later. Bye bye.